We just heard from the fire officials. They do want us to move to another location, but before we do, I want to tell you that we have heard several loud explosions coming from the recycling plant. One of the armed suspects kicked in this door where the woman had been sleeping, and after a struggle, her head was kicked through the wall, leaving this big hole. It'll cost you about $1 at your local auto parts store. Just a few minutes inside your tank, and your gas is gone. Turns out one of them reached over to a nearby desk and grabbed a staple remover. They used it to pick the lock. News Channel 9 got exclusive access inside the storm drain. The latest allegations against Phelps Dodge are explained in this official OSHA complaint. And after months of research, I have obtained an exclusive interview with one of the key workers. Tonight, the man known as Mr. 500 reveals some disturbing details about the copper refinery.
Most exposure taking place here is right that green building that they call the tank house.
Benny Rodriguez is a mechanic at Phelps Dodge who handled maintenance all over the copper refinery. He was removed from the plant last month after tests revealed high levels of arsenic in his urine and blood. According to the test results, his arsenic levels were 50 times the limit allowed by federal law. 10 is legal.
More than 500 in my case. Not once, not twice, 3, 4, 5 different tests. 500, 1,000, 1,020, even up to 4,000.
News Channel 9 has obtained this video shot by a worker last December, showing the sludge and chemical buildup in the tank house basement. Workers believe this is the source of much of the contamination.
They of the problem. Knew it was out there, and they didn't tell us.
The latest complaint against Phelps Dodge includes allegations that contracted employees working in regulated areas are not required to shower at the end of their shift. The complaint also alleges that those employees are not required to remove contaminated clothing in changing rooms and are taking the clothes home with them. OSHA investigators are also looking into allegations that employees do not decontaminate when leaving regulated areas and are allowed in eating areas wearing contaminated clothes. Another complaint, workers are allowed to use well water contaminated with arsenic for showering, drinking, and eye washes.
A week from now, or 2 weeks from now, even a month from now, I could spike up, even without working at Phelps Dodge, because I've been exposed. It will eventually kill me, yes. And it's because the doctors have told it's irreversible.
Some of his fellow workers call him Mr. 500 because of the numbers revealed in his tests. He says the company has been sending him to doctors, but that managers are still exposing other workers.
They're testing just for arsenic, but I know there's other heavy metals there that I'm not aware of what I got.
He also worries that his family has been exposed. His 15-year-old son was diagnosed with cancer last year, and he claims the disease is not in his family history. Do you think that bringing those clothes home had anything to do with your son's illness?
It had something to do with it, because I took this stuff home every day, and not till recently they decided to give us uniforms.
Now Mr. 500 is calling on Phelps Dodge to follow through on its promise.
I hope they will do the right thing and take care of me and take care of my family.
OSHA says the latest investigation could take up to 6 months. The federal safety experts are revealing very little other information, saying it may compromise the case. Filippo, we're back live just north of Montana, a few hundred yards from where the recycling facility has been on fire for the past couple hours, as you mentioned. There is a new development, and that is that, as you can see behind me, you can see white plumes of smoke. That gives us an indication that those fire crews who worked their way closer to the scene about 5-10 minutes ago have just started putting water on the flames. There is no indication as of yet to what started this fire, whether accidental or intentional. That is the meeting point for all of these emergency crews. You can see traffic and officers trying to move the traffic along here as quickly as they can so that they can make room for these emergency crews as they arrive. Well, for those of you who have just tuned in, about 11:30 or so, fire crews were called to this scene. It is just south of Montana, just east of Zaragoza. It is a recycling facility which includes plastics, metals, boxes, cardboard. It has been burning pretty strong for quite a while. In fact, just within the past half hour or so, it has begun to show some signs of weakness.
Let's go now to Jesse Chavez, who's been following this fire all afternoon. Jesse.
Filippo, we do have an important new development to report. As you can see towards the bottom of this plume of smoke, that white area where that smoke is turning white in color, I can confirm that fire officials are pouring water on the fire right in that area.
And Jesse, it looks like the smoke may not be as big and billowy as it was before. Is it your indication that the fire may be burning itself out?
Certainly the case, Nick. We have seen within the past half hour, 45 minutes, where fire crews are actually putting water on the flames that may be helping their efforts over right by the north end of the recycling facility. Reporting live in Far East El Paso, in downtown El Paso, in central El Paso, from West El Paso, near Fort Bliss, inside the Sun Bowl, in Montana Vista, Jesse Chavez, News Channel 9. Javier Negrano drives with some hard-learned lessons under his belt. He once had a run-in with an uninsured driver from Juarez.
I know I'm a lot more careful now, and I'm actually looking at vehicles instead of just driving.
Negrano says police took the woman into custody after she failed to identify herself.
Kind of alarming when you think about it, because most of the time you're the one that has to flip the bill when it's not your fault.
That financial setback has opened the door to a new way of thinking for Negrano and others in his situation.
I went to make sure that the lady was okay, and she actually had the audacity to tell me that I was going too fast.
The fact is, this happens a lot in the borderland. Drivers crossing from Juarez into El Paso are breaking the law. This teenage Mexican driver is one of them. Hi, guys. We asked him if he had insurance. ¿Usted tiene seguranza de automóvil?
Sí, pero de Juárez.
Yes, but for Juarez.
This man tells a common story. Seguranza de automóvil.
De automóvil ahorita todavía no.
I don't have automobile insurance yet. I just came to make some buys, and I'll return quickly back to Mexico. I'm not worried about getting into an accident.
This woman was not sure at first. Then she realized she does have insurance for Texas.
2006, 2007. ¡Ay, me salvé! Sí, ay, gloria a Dios.
I saved myself. Glory be to God. My embarrassment is gone.
This man has insurance for Mexico and Texas, so he's driving legally in both countries. It's hard to know how many drivers from Mexico are on the roads without insurance. But insurance agents like Rudy Summers say it happens often, despite the availability of temporary insurance costing anywhere from $5 to $10 a day.
If they don't have any insurance, of course, there's no claims. You know, whoever the driver here in the United States is gonna have a hard time.
While this woman is covered, El Paso police say uninsured drivers are cited after a traffic stop or an accident. Also,
each of our 5 regions is required to do a minimum of 1 license and insurance checkpoint a week.
Meanwhile, Negrano's parting wish is that all drivers hit the road with more responsibility. Jesse Chavez, News Channel 9 Night Beat.